Feeling like
Assalamualaikum.
Salam. How are you this morning?
I'm doing all right, man. Got a meeting at the masjid today. I'm trying to get prepared for that.
Okay.
So I was over at the stove trying to get some food made up. For
That's cool.
did you understand what I was saying yesterday?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, they went off in a whole different direction.
That's it's a small community and they don't it's really hard, I think, in a community this small where basically everybody's support comes from the same group of people
Same group. And
that you're
then,
so careful not to, venture too far left or right or go up or go down. It's crazy.
well, but like everything else, there's some people that support some things and you want to get them going.
Right.
Just like 150, we don't get but maybe 50 to 70 people a month
Hmm.
that support it, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna push it. Now, if they don't do it, they don't do it. I got people I talk to all the time don't support it. I don't ask them why don't they support it. You know?
Right.
And another thing, sending letters to the masjids don't work.
I agree with that.
I mean, come on. I don't want to say that. I mean, there was a lot I wanted to say yesterday, but they come up with these ideas and they need to have a meeting where people can be frank and whatever, not go to everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I said what I said. And I backed up off of it. I'm through. I said it. But how many letters you get in the mail, Edward, that you throw away?
Most?
I'm in my office, right, and the mailman come up with letters. I wait till he leave, then I put them in the trash
Right.
because I'm gonna do it in front of him to make.
Yeah. He said, why am I even stopping by here?
Then I throw a little hint, say, bring me a stack of mail. I said, man, you don't never bring no checks. What's that all about? you know, but the reality is you spread it wide and get who you get.
Right. And
And
that's
don't
our
worry
that's
about
our biggest issue is that our net's not big enough.
it ain't big enough, brother. But there are people that might support it if they get the information.
Hmm.
And if they support you, don't feel bad that they didn't support Study Al-Islam or somebody else.
Right.
The same way Study Al-Islam ain't lose no sweat because they're supporting them and they support them.
Exactly. Yeah. The
Ah,
the whole the whole key from the beginning, from the time I got involved, was just looking and seeing how small the size of the net was of
it
people
is.
that we were reaching. Because I mean, it's kind of like this. Um, Podcast, for example. There
Mm-hmm.
are 10 to 15 different podcasts that I like,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There are three or four podcasts that I regularly have an opportunity to tune in and listen to that podcast,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the others, I'll hit them every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every
But
now and then.
that becomes a part of their audience. That is expected, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
expect you there every time they have a new program. That would be ridiculous for them to suspect that you're going to be there. Now, every one of them has a core audience, but then every one of them has somebody like me that comes sniping every now and then to see
Mm-hmm.
what they got to say.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, a percentage of people listen more often. Few people drop off. Few people
Mm-hmm.
just stay that way. Once every 3 or 4 weeks, they might check in to see what you got going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
what you have. That's just the way the market works.
that's the reality.
Yeah.
And then and then now they take a break in between the news break, and they ask you to donate, right?
Or if you're not donating, they take a little break and they talk about who their sponsor is. Same thing,
Right,
right?
right. So,
That's just the way it is. But you have
hmm
to be able to use we're talking about YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and I have no idea why nobody will say the name of the person who has Facebook on lockdown. There's a person. It's one individual.
oh, okay,
Just like in our situation that we had,
yeah,
is one individual that either can't figure it out or refuses to give you the information so you can do something to take advantage of that opportunity.
hmm hmm
And everybody, I think there are 3 or 4 people that know who that person is.
hmm
They're not going to say that name
hmm
because they're protecting that person, whoever they may be. And that person's not doing anything with that Facebook page because I don't think there's been a new entry on that Facebook page since 2020.
Which one is that? What page you talking about?
CW, it's either the CWSC or AM 360 page. I can't remember which one. I think it's the AM 360 page.
The Facebook page? Oh,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who that person is.
Oh, I'm not either. I don't know. Somebody knows.
Well, also keep in mind is that they might not have the expertise.
Okay, but it's not that hard. Okay, I'll just give you an example. Sister Kalita has a daughter
Hmm
who is very adept at using social media. And we're not creating any new, Emmy award winning ad programs.
Right.
We just need somebody to regularly post the shows that are on AM 360, host profile. Uh, if we know that we're going to have a guest that's known in the community or high profile outside the community, whatever, post on there, upcoming on Thursday morning on Money Sense. Tune in for host Adam Bia and his special guest so and so. You just need
Well,
somebody to do that simple stuff.
well, to me, our money would be better served and spent by paying somebody something to do that.
That would be great. But right now, we don't even have the volunteer doing it.
Well,
In other words, we
then
can't do it.
can we offer
We can't do it if we wanted to at the moment.
can we offer somebody some money? Now, I ain't talking a lot of money now
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
to do that,
That would be great. Yeah, and I'm sure
and it can be
once a week
a couple
post.
a couple $100 a month.
Exactly. Exactly. All they got to do is go in once a week on a Sunday, probably would be the best day
Hmm
on a Sunday and post everything that's coming up the next week.
hmm
They get that knocked out in a 2 hour time frame on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to have access to the page to even do that, or you have to do what we did, and that's going and create a brand new
Well,
page.
never mind. Hmm.
And
Yep.
then because Facebook links to Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
then you're automatically on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we got most all these people we're talking about that would pay $200 a month. They know how to use TikTok.
You know how people are saying that they have problems, either logging on and this and that and whatever.
Hmm.
Everybody has a subject matter expert in their family, right?
Yeah, yeah, somebody. Yeah,
Get your granddaughter or grandson to come and show you
right.
and
I agree with that too.
troubleshoot it for you. That's
Right.
all. I have to wait. I do it all the time. Get some young person. Oh, okay, I got it. I got it now. So I discovered something last night. My cable went out, right?
Hmm.
And I couldn't get you know, no cable. My brother here, that's his deal watching sports. So I went to my neighbor and asked him, where's his cable out? Young military guy. He said, yeah, his cable's out. I said, okay. And I said, all right. And I didn't, they told us it was back on, but it wasn't. Then he told me he used his smartphone to get connect this cable.
Oh
Hotspot.
wow. Oh
Not
wow.
the
Okay.
hotspot, right? I said,
Okay. Now you talking about cable or Wi-Fi?
well, Wi-Fi. Okay. Now I don't have cable, Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I've done that too. I've used my phone
I'm using, I
as
did it
my
last
source.
night. I did last night. I took my iPhone. I said, wow, why am I paying for internet service?
So that's cute because if you have an unlimited plan,
I do.
then you don't need to pay for internet service. Your phone will do the trick. I see people, I got hooked on that several years ago because
Okay.
my buddy was doing it we meet at Starbucks.
Hmm.
And that was his hookup. His because he didn't trust Starbucks has great Wi-Fi, by the way. For anybody that
Hmm.
doesn't know that, Starbucks has some of the best Wi-Fi in the world. It's fantastic. But it's open. In other words, smart people can steal your information
Okay.
because it's a wide open network. There's no security on it.
Right.
So he's superstitious and thinks everybody's always trying to rob him. So he just he always used his phone. I was like, because I thought he was just charging his phone, from his computer. Thought he was just keeping his phone charged. Nah, he showed me the whole deal. I was like, oh, wow, okay. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, dude. I didn't know you could do that. And he showed me how to do it.
Well, I learned last night, brother.
So, like, if you're in the car going
Hmm.
somewhere, I mean, just, I don't know. If you have a good enough phone service, yeah, you can get a signal anywhere. Anywhere you can
Hmm.
get a signal, you can be
Hmm.
on the internet or on your computer, laptop, or your pad.
Right. Sound
Assalamu
like
alaikum, Imam Tariq, Brother Rabani.
Assalamu
Walaikum,
alaikum.
sound like
walaikum
brothers.
assalam. Uh,
Alhamdulillah.
are we going? Do we have any business to tend to concerning Graceline? If not, I'm gonna have to
Couple,
exit the meeting because I
yeah,
got uh got a funeral to attend here shortly.
yeah. Don't let us
Yeah.
hold you. We are going to talk about the upcoming webinars in January,
Okay.
just to see where we are on that as far as
Hmm.
planning and the dates and all that stuff. We'll talk about that. If Imam Ali is with us, obviously we'll talk about the credit union, that particular situation. But other than that, I can't think of any pressing
Okay.
business.
Okay. Well, I'll remain as long as I can.
Okay,
But if you see me, well, I'll say Assalamu alaikum. I'm leaving before
sure.
I just go. Then, yeah. Okay. All right.
Understood.
All right. Thank you all.
All right, bro.
So, yeah, I mean, we don't have a whole bunch on the agenda. I mean, other than, we got our own need to get some more money in situations,
Mm-hmm.
which is not pressing, thankfully. Nobody's knocking on the door, leaving notices. So we're okay for a little while. Bonnie, what's going on in the world?
Bro. Everything is I saw my deer this morning.
Oh, wow. Okay. You put
Yeah.
corn out, you put corn out for them or anything like that?
No, no, no. They just come.
Okay.
They know they're in safe harbor. Yeah, they're in the safe harbor. I was making tahajjud prayer,
hmm
and when I made salams, I turned, and there they were. One of them was looking at me. I guess he's gonna bear witness, huh?
He was.
He was looking.
He's like one of those passing jinn that stopped to observe,
Exactly, man.
right?
Exactly. So what a wonderful recitation. No one
Exactly.
should ever reject that. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, so they were out there. I'm thinking about buying them some corn when I get up to the area. Well, at our market, they have corn for deer. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna I'm just going to plant a trail of corn so I can
hmm
see them at certain times. You know what I mean? It
Right,
was like
right.
4:30 in the morning, you know,
hmm
and so I saw out the corner of my eye some movement, and I said, "Oh, that's my deer." Uh, and they had this. Usually, when you see one, you see a group.
Right.
So sure enough, the group of them. But you can't make too much noise, you know.
hmm
So, but when they
There,
come that close, you know, they really have some respect for you, you know, and that's the thing. But it's good. Everything's good, man. You know, except I mean, the same. It is idiotic situation. You know, the time when people's time is up. You know, they make all kind of crazy moves. You know.
well, then there's a bunch of crazy moves going on because there's a whole bunch of
Oh,
people whose time is up out there.
yeah. That's right. That's right. So no,
So,
but other than that, man, we got one permit taken care of. Uh, I think I told you about Riley. Uh,
hmm
Brother Adam Riley, the new masjid, we got the permit. They're going to have a groundbreaking sometime this month. So yeah, we will have another one in Colombia this month permit, and one in Miami. But that's just a restoration job there in Miami for elevators and lifts, you know.
that's still a big
And
deal, though.
hopefully, yeah, I know, and also hopefully this month also we should get a permit for the cemetery in Charlotte.
Excellent. Yeah,
So
that
this month
all of
should be
those
good.
things have been ongoing for at least 2 years.
Oh
It
yeah, oh yeah,
seems like they're all coming to fruition
that's
around the
right.
same time. That's really great.
On the 50th anniversary, you know.
hmm
So,
All right. So
but
Imam
we,
Tariq, if you're still with us for the time being, will you open this up formally this morning?
Yes, sir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
I mean, so just a little housekeeping note. I think probably most everybody saw the message from Omar. He will join us this morning. He said he was going to be a little bit late. I know he's been working on a project for a client. So, but he will join us. Um, I'm expecting same from Sister Kalita that she'll be late this morning, but that she will join us. And on a sadder note, I didn't bring this up because I didn't learn about it until I think Monday, and we haven't been together. And I didn't reach out to anybody, really didn't kind of know. I'm always at a loss when it comes to stuff like this, but Sister Hope Hart, who hasn't been with us in a while. Her family's been going through some trials. They buried her father yesterday. Well, I mean, had the service for it. I think the interment at Dallas National Cemetery is going to be on Tuesday, but they had the funeral services for him yesterday. Really wonderful man. I got a chance to know him. Tennessee State grad, United States Army. I think he was just a lieutenant. I don't think he ever reached captain or anything like that. But he was the first African American engineer ever hired by the city of Dallas. So around these parts, he was a little bit of a trailblazer in that regard, and he was there for 30, I think I want to say 31, 32 years with the city of Dallas, you know, doing city planning and, you know, just my conversations with him. He would tell you where to go if you wanted to see the layout for the city for the next 10 to 15 years and where they were going to be doing street improvements and lighting and this, that, and the other. And, you know, you could see all the planning, all that stuff. I mean, that was a part of what he did. Really interesting guy, mathematical genius. He was sharp as a tack, but you know, the end comes for all of us.
Mhm. Well, may Allah forgive him his sins and grant him the highest level of paradise. I mean.
I mean, so Imam Talib, while we're waiting on Omar, can you kind of give us an update on where all the planning is as far as January and the webinars?
I have not spoken to him. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum
Walaikum
salam.
assalam wa
I,
rahmatullah.
I have not spoken to him, and I was, uh, and perhaps this will happen sometime today. I have not, and I'm looking to see if I missed something last night. But as you all know, he did send the it was a double-sided flyer around, but unless he sent, no, I didn't get anything last night. Um, it still needs to have a date and time.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
no, I'm just looking to be, yeah. So once I get that, I will upload it to have it uploaded to Flipcodes. And then we'll need to talk about how we want to present this. That is, if he just wants to do it from start to finish, or whether or not he wants myself or one of us to do an introduction. I guess we could establish some sort of cues where myself or one of us could move the conversation on to the next section. But I don't see, once he gets me the date and time, and I'm assuming all of the sessions are going to follow each other so that the time would be the same.
And we were deciding on doing it during a weekday. Was that the conversation that we had last week? To
It
stay
could
away,
have,
just to stay
it
away
could
from
have
weekends
been,
or something?
yeah. And if it wasn't, that would seem to be a good idea for us to pursue, because of the conflicts that come up with other programming Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, in fact, I want to say I was thinking we may have decided on a Tuesday. I think that was mentioned last week.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
guys correct
I
me if
wasn't
I'm
here
wrong, but
last
I
week.
think it was, I think Tuesday was discussed.
Okay.
If it wasn't last week, it may have been the week before. But anyway, I think it was a weekday
Okay.
to try to get the largest possible audience.
Right.
And with the pre-promotion, obviously, you want to, it's going to be on Flip Cause on our website. We'll do something on Facebook and Instagram. Try to do something on LinkedIn as well. Well, not try, we'll do it. We'll put something on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
period.
Let me ask this just as a general kind of question. Other do Let me see how I want to frame this. What sort of support do you all individually see your masjids giving these webinars?
Let me put it this way, as far as mine are concerned, if you're expecting a whole bunch of them to navigate to the Zoom portion of it, I would say definitely less than 5% of the masjid will do it.
No, but before we get there in terms of numbers, at any one of our communities where we are not the resident imam, are you anticipating any issues with announcements or putting flyers on the board or on the table, or however the masjid communicates with its members?
In my case, no, I don't see any. There won't be any headwinds at all. Any problem with that?
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? I mean, if you're a resident imam, you obviously have more control over that situation. But I'm just being hesitant about whatever support that I would get from Masjid Muhammad. Um, so I didn't know if it would be the same for, for others or not, because of uh, structure, what the process and procedure is, um, to bring these types of events to the community.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
And since we have several imams and former imams as a part of this group, if if we were able to get the conveners, Imam Tariq, to put this on their website, and also would the conveners be willing to distribute this from their body to masjids as well, just a flyer electronically also. So, I mean, a multi-pronged approach. I mean, obviously, we're going to approach the masjids that we have direct contact with. But if they also did it, and if we did other things on social media, come at it from as many different directions as possible, we do something like that. Because
So
I'm just, walaikum salam, brother.
the thing that I would do, like I always do, being the sectional convener, once we, whatever we convene on in the national, I report to my section on what we uh, discuss. So where I'm going with this, I would start with the national conveners first, send it before we convene, and then from there, I'll send it on out to the section.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you, Imam Talib, to at
Yeah,
least use that
I
particular
mean,
approach as one prong?
yeah, I mean, in other words, what I am, what I'm continuing to learn in this process is that, especially never having been a resident imam, that each community has its own protocols and processes. Um, what Imam Tariq just raised is part of the national conveners, protocol and process, and that's going to work because I think every sectional leader has the opportunity to present to the national group what is going on in and around their section. So, I mean that makes sense. I don't know what the sort of timing process is, um, and the ways I know the ways that I've found to get around it. Um, at my concerns at Masjid Muhammad is just to there's a table at the door, and then there's a counter in the back where people go to pay their zakat and sadaqah, etc. Um, so I have not had any issues putting out flyers, postcards for Graceline. Um, I check it periodically to make sure that Graceline's brochures stay filled up. Um, if I'm not mistaken, last time I looked, there may have still been a couple of flyers on the table for collective conversations. Um, so now it is anticipated that anything you want to address to the community or put on the table, or post, around um, the community center, um, that it needs to be run by the board first. And that can be an arduous process. And I know, because I can recall the 2, maybe 3 times that I was doing a presentation that they wanted me to do. But it was, in fact, the first presentation I did was to the board. And so they got a sense of what it was that I had to offer. But still, even with the presentation that I recently did, in fact, I did 2 of them. There, the turnout was good, but the process was difficult to the point that I wanted to just pull out, because there was one board member in particular who I felt was trying to micromanage what I was doing. And, I just had to let him know that, I didn't need his help. I know what I'm doing. And I mean, it turned out that we might have, the first time I may have had maybe a dozen people. The next time, I think there were a few more. And there have been, brothers and sisters who, who want to do this. And I would tell you there have been 3 who've actually engaged my services and had it done. What I'm focusing on now is this financial freedom workshop. So once the flyer is complete, I'm going to make sure that it gets to the table. I am going to ask that it be posted with any of the masjids releases. There's a group of brothers that are on a I don't want to call it a chat, but it's like a text group that a group of brothers are on from Masjid Muhammad. I submitted the JOT form application to join the group, but I can't tell you what happened to it. So I'll just keep doing what it is that I'm doing, but I want to shift gears. I want to shift gears at Masjid Muhammad and start pushing the things that Graceline is doing, because I don't see any reason in the world why Masjid Muhammad could not be, well, not Masjid Muhammad, but Washington, D.C. could not be the location for Graceline's credit union. Building our membership base off of the membership of Masjid Muhammad. In other words, if you were to listen to the khutbahs, you would think it was a natural fit.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to action, it doesn't occur in the manner in which I think it should. Uh, and part of the problem that I'm seeing, and this not only applies to our masjids, but to the community at large. I've been having some conversations with my wife over the last couple of days, talking about the issues that her and I have been having with DC government, whether it's separately or together. And one of the things that we have concluded is that government employees are just that. They're employees. They're not business people. They're not entrepreneurs. So they do things that to an entrepreneur or business person doesn't make sense. And I'm even finding that to be the same in a corporate structure. And I've spoken about this on more than one occasion, that because you are an executive in a multinational, international corporation, that doesn't make you either an entrepreneur or a businessman, because you're not in control of anything. You're an employee. It's not your corporation. You're only an executive in it. You're not the head executive. And even if you are, it's very few CEOs or those in leadership positions that are the founders of their entity. Now, I know that's growing, because of technology, but when it comes down to just the meat and bones of what makes an entrepreneur, what makes a business person, you need to be tested. They don't, unlike my experience in middle school. I had a class in middle school called critical thinking. A class in critical thinking. And it was, as a part of that class, we would get like sample rent documents. They didn't call them lease documents then. This was back in the
7?
when was that? No, this was in the 60s.
60s, okay.
Yeah, this was in the 60s. It was, but they gave us samples of rental documents, and it might have only been like a couple pages. So, not the 26, 48, 52-page documents for leases that you may see now. But it taught us how to critically think. And that's not happening today. And so now I find myself in a position, and I think we all find ourselves in a position where we are trying to navigate through this process to bring people something that they know they need, but it seems that that they're putting up these walls of resistance. And I mean, it just and it goes back to the phrase that Adam and I coined: if they'll only listen. But they won't. So I'm constantly trying to think of ways to break through those barriers. So And I don't know. I don't know what it's going. I don't know what it's going to take. Um, and maybe the new approach that I'll try, because I'll admit I have not done this, but to start sending du'as to Allah and the angels, to answer um, this dilemma and that we find ourselves in. Because I think, as an entity, we have a lot to offer. But I'm seeing how our community, whether it's individually or even collectively, we're scattered. We're all over the place. I can show you Masjid Muhammad's newsletter right now, and they've got something going on. I mean, you just keep scrolling, and there's flyers for any and everything that's going on in and around the community. So Graceline has to compete with that. I have to compete with it. You would think it would be easier for us because the resident imam of the nation's mosque is the uncle through marriage of Brother Omar. It may be Imam Talib Sharif to us, but it's Uncle Talib in his house.
Assalamu alaikum. Let me interrupt for just a second.
Yeah, no, please go ahead.
I want to give the greetings to our guest,
Oh.
and I'm going to call our guest Brother iPhone at the moment. And
Yeah,
hopefully he will give us the greeting back and introduce himself, and we'll go forward. But assalamu alaikum, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Brother iPhone.
If you are listening, if you're there and you're trying to speak, you're on mute, so you need to unmute yourself. And also, let us greet Brother Omar has joined us. Mention of his name, and he came right into the room. Assalamu alaikum, Omar.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So we were discussing the upcoming webinars in January, and hopefully getting you guys can get together dates and times. And I was trying to remember, was not your suggestion that we do this on like a Tuesday or Wednesday evening?
I was asking if a Tuesday would work better for folks. I did get a response from Brother Edwards in regards to that works good for him.
Yeah, I thought the timing was good.
Yeah, I thought I agreed with it too. I remember that, but if I didn't, I'm doing so now.
Thank you. And I may have just overlooked those kind of lateral responses.
And we were thinking something around 7 o'clock Eastern time. Does that sound about right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, any feedback from anyone on whether that timing is okay or not?
Yeah, I would tell you that it is. So Omar, sometime in the next couple of days, will you be able to put that on both sides of the flyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I will be able to get that on there and then get that back, turn that back around, inshallah, this evening.
Oh, okay. Alhamdulillah. Because I want to take it and have some printed up that I can put on the table at Masjid Muhammad, and also send it out to any Muslims on my contact list. So yeah, that'll be good. And when I do it, I'm thinking in terms of sending it out and then sending out reminders weekly. Because I mean, everybody else do it to me, so so they they shouldn't mind if I join the fray and just send out a weekly announcement about this, because I mean I think it's important, it's needed. So let me see. I went to the participants. I don't know who's on here with just the iPhone.
Yeah, I just sent him a chat,
Okay,
but he might not be aware of it. But
okay,
I asked him what his name was.
all right.
He hadn't got a response. So, my brother, if you can,
Or sister. I don't know.
it's a brother. 'Cause I saw his picture for.
Oh,
When he
okay.
came on, he had his camera on, and then he took it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was just curious who you might be. I don't know if he was invited by Dr. Ali or what. I'm not sure because I didn't recognize him. So maybe if everybody
Brother
come on.
Taalib-Din,
Yes, sir.
Imam.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum,
Walaikum salam,
brother
sir.
Rabbi. I had a thought. You know, uh, I know Washington D.C., so I understand the psychology basically of many of the believers that come through, and most of them come through Howard. And I'm thinking maybe you need to contact the chairman of the Department of Business and speak to him about making a presentation to the students, uh,
Okay.
and also to University of District of Columbia, because they would be very interested in your approach to a particular aspect of business life, entrepreneurship. You see.
Right.
And I think that'll go. I think they will engage you, and also allow you to um, make presentations, or even get some students to assist us in our efforts.
Right.
Depending upon your
Right.
presentation, what you want to do.
Right.
So, and I'm sure it'll go over well. I can almost guarantee that,
Yeah.
because you have that kind of mind,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Because you're right.
Hmm.
Um, over the years, there have been several uh, members of the community from various HBCUs, but
Hmm.
Howard is one of the more consistent ones. What you
Exactly.
just reminded me of is to reach out to Imam Jahari, who
Okay.
is he's the um, he is the resident imam of the campus Muslims.
Hmm.
They I don't know where they're meeting now on campus, but they do Jumu'ah, they do Ramadan. In fact, the sisters just recently had uh, they recently collected health and beauty aid and various types of hygiene products uh,
Hmm.
for the for the greater community. Not
I
just
see.
for Muslim sisters, but
Hmm.
for women in particular in the area. That was a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I will. Yeah, what I'm hearing you say now is if they won't let me in the front door, go through the back door.
And that's the proper door.
Right. Yes, yes, sir. But boy, what were you doing right? No, no, you know where you need to go. Yeah, man. Okay, well that's yeah,
Now,
I can reach out
also
to
you can,
Jahari.
yeah, and anything that would enhance the appeal, especially like when you say the sisters with products. My daughter just got her products from overseas,
Okay.
hair growth products that a sister from Somalia put together.
Okay.
Since everybody talking about Somalia, so
Hmm.
but this
And
was she had just
she's
got back from.
marketing them over here.
Yeah, not right now, but
Oh,
that's what she's putting that package together.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
Okay.
and in fact, I have some work I have to do some work with her in terms of the labeling and the
Oh, okay.
testing, and also uh the name, you see. So but I'm just giving you a heads up on that in terms of if you can get those sisters mobilized to what you're developing and what you have, it'll be a
Mm,
great help, man, because they'll get out there. You know what I mean? Uh,
right.
it'll take a little while for the brothers to catch on, but the sisters immediately uh,
Right.
would see the benefits. You see? But
Hmm.
that's the proving ground there at Howard, and
Right.
also uh, the I think it's University of District of Columbia. You
Right.
know,
Right. 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 Right.
so
Yeah.
and that would and see that and you can get people to they will contact you have a form where you can get their name, address, and all of that, or or have them send it to you,
Hmm.
and uh and then you could send them email. You have contact with emails and
Right.
flyers that you can put together, and then you can it might be once a semester from
Hmm.
certain
Right.
classes, and
Right.
then you can request some volunteers to help bring this together as a citywide um, presentation for our
Hmm.
people, you know,
Right.
and because we got a lot of we got a lot of militants, black militants in the city. So economics should be one of the elements that they should be interested in, and understanding how they can benefit. Because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur nowadays, especially among the youth. And
Right.
just the people who I rented the U-Haul for uh, for bringing my office equipment and furnishings up to South Carolina. The brother had a U-Haul business and a studio for rap music and producing
Hmm.
in the same
Okay.
building.
Okay.
So you see, there's a lot of stuff going on that we just gonna have to take a stab at it, and
Right.
I'm sure I'm sure it'll yield some fruit.
Yes,
I can
sir.
almost guarantee
Inshallah.
that.
Yeah. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's that'll be that'll be worth exploring.
Right.
And let's see what kind of feedback um, let's see what kind of feedback we get. Um,
Because I'm sure that the Muslim Student Association have brothers and sisters who are in the business school. I'm almost
oh
guarantee
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see, so
yeah. I'll check with
they
Imam Jahari because
Yeah.
He would know. He's got his pulse right on it, and he is a Howard
Okay, wonderful.
University grad. Yep. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna start with and actually I'll start with the Graceline piece that
Mm-hmm.
the financial freedom,
Right.
because that is much needed. I mean, I would fill you all's inbox up with the number of stories that I've run across that specifically mention the 50-30-20 plan or
Mm-hmm.
something just like it. They're just calling it something else, or they are appealing to that segment of the population um, that is living paycheck to paycheck, and they have the answer, or at least they think they have that.
And you might also ask, you might want to request that you go up and give the cookbah one Friday.
Oh man, look,
Yeah.
let me let me let me tell you this, and then I won't have nothing else to say. We had a community.
Bonnet causing problems. That's what he's doing.
No, I'm not, man. But look, well,
Adam,
there,
I'm a
there,
peacemaker.
there was a community. There was a community meeting. Might have been a month ago, and a sister and the Imam Talib was moderating, and a sister, well known in the community, and always been a supporter of Masjid Muhammad. She spoke up, and she started out by saying that the khutbahs that she's been hearing lately have not been inspiring to her. That they've been boring, and then she asked, "When are you all going to let Imam Uqdar give the khutbah? Because he's always inspired me." And she was telling the truth, because when I was giving khutbahs on a regular basis, when I was done, she might just text me, because at the time, I think at this particular time we were in COVID, so the imams would show up at the at the masjid, but the people were online. But she would always text and and let me know how much she enjoyed the khutbah, and she just went on and on. Now, that didn't move anybody to invite me to give the talk, but depending on how you look at that, it certainly didn't help. So and it wasn't like it was just three of us standing around talking. This was a public community meeting, and I just and I did not, for the jokesters on the call, I did not pay her to say that. So, oh man,
she was moved.
Yeah, I mean,
she was moved.
And she hasn't been the only one, but the thing I keep expressing to people is this is only Allah's message speaking through me. I mean, so and so I have never allowed any of this, to go, to my head. But I know there was I always try and keep a bar ready, so that
That's
because
right.
I you know we never know when we may be called on, so
That's right.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that. My ex-father-in-law, who was a seminary trained Baptist minister, he had a sermon because he was a college professor. But in the area in which they lived, every now and then he would be called upon, because he was well known, he'd be called upon to be the preacher if the resident minister was ill or traveling or whatever. They would call on him. And he had the same sermon, to the point that my ex-wife and her brother knew that sermon word for
backwards and
word.
forwards.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
something similar to that is that when I go down, when I was at the FAMU, and Imam Rashad would have to emergency, or he would be late. He would call me and say, I know you got a kutbah in your back pocket, because I know it doesn't matter. Instant kutbahs, not the same one, but based on the situation at the time, you know, I had to be ready, just like a fireman, You
Yeah,
had to be,
yes,
when the
sir.
bell, when the alarm goes off, you got to be ready to, you know, and in this case, put out the fires of the shaitan in the community as fast as you can, and then keep moving, to the next situation. So
Mhm.
no, man, you are always going to be called upon, and if you really a conscious Muslim believer, you study every day. I mean, at least read the Quran every day. Read some of uh, I like to just go on online and hear Imam some of the speeches or uh, commentary that the Imam has on WhatsApp, or
Right.
uh, the other areas of where you can get. I think I go to several different sites, and
Hmm.
get the email, and then read some of his commentary, and then just linger on that for that day, So
Right.
you're always ready, because you're going to be tested. You're going to be in combat every day. It's like a battle. Every day is a battle, and it won't stop until Allah say stop. You see. So
Hmm.
we're in it, So we're in it to win it.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, we had a
so
brother yesterday, Imam Rashad Abdul Rahman.
okay,
He gave a khutbah yesterday. Um,
okay,
I think he's down in the Carolinas somewhere. Um,
He's in Georgia.
No, he's out of
Georgia.
Atlanta.
Okay.
And
Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he comes up uh, maybe once every 5, 6 weeks or so. And in fact, if memory serves me correctly, he was actually introduced to us. Um, I don't really know how to phrase this, but he was actually introduced to us as like being the imam's. I don't know what you want to call it.
He's his protege.
Yeah, like it, like they, like he's been elevated to a ranking position at Masjid Muhammad.
Yeah, there was actually I want to say I saw it on LinkedIn. It may have been somewhere else where almost those exact type of words were used about their relationship.
Right. Okay.
And I do want to say that I think the term protege was used,
Okay.
which was a surprise to me because he had left the Atlanta Masjid, where I really think at some point in the very near future he would have been elevated to resident imam. So,
Mhm.
whatever, take that with a grain of salt. But, to go out and
Yeah, Imam Talib,
Uh-huh.
Imam Talib, he
Yeah.
was there when you brought me to the when you picked me up and you brought me to to that masjid because they had I didn't know where it was, and you took me that day,
Oh,
and
okay.
he was there.
All right.
I think he was the one that gave the khutbah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
Yep.
that's and I know him. You know, I know him from different places that we run into.
Hmm.
You know, so there we go.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I enjoy him whenever he gives these talks. Uh,
Hmm.
they are generally from everything I can recall. I mean, they're right on point. So
Hmm.
uh, I appreciate the sort of introduction that the community has gotten from him. And as I said, he gave the talk yesterday. And,
Hmm.
so I'm looking forward to the next one. So yeah, but I do want to start to get our financial freedom work
Yes. Hmm.
webinars out to the community. And Omar, before you came on, I had mentioned taking the opportunity to take another crack at uh, trying to build up Graceline's membership through Masjid Muhammad. The first time that I approached them, uh, Imam Talib told me to speak with a brother in the community, which I did. And he and I, went back and forth several times, promised meetings, never met. And when I finally was able to report back to Imam Talib, I mean, he was already aware as to, what transpired, that, we were, not able to meet. And I took that opportunity to also offer him some reasons behind why that did not, occur. And it's it's been something that I have addressed, to this brother from time to time, uh, because we've got history in the political world, and I have expressed to him my disappointment in uh, how he has responded to me and the work that I do, and I wanted to make sure, coming from him that that relationship was not what was coloring his non-response to me sitting down and talking to him, about Graceline Credit Union. And I believe the way it turned out, I don't believe that it was. I think it was more of, and I don't recall this, and I can't really explain to you how it happened because I haven't got the details, but he was still smarting from the fact that there was a credit union in Washington, D.C., that he and some other believers lost money.
Mm.
Now, I don't know whether that was money that they lost. I'm assuming it was money that they lost on an investment in the credit union and not any funds that they had deposited there. But he wasn't clear, and I don't know what year that was or where I was or what community I was a part of at the time that this occurred. But I do believe that it is an obstacle that we can overcome. I mean, I'm just optimistic that way. I mean, I don't. When you have something like this that you're bringing to the community that meets all the criteria of having a material showing, how are you going to deny that? And all we're asking for at the present time are numbers. So that as we're moving forward, getting I'm going to just say 300 membership threshold. I think it might be a little less than that, but let's just say 300. That would be easily obtainable. And it would also put us in a position where we could explain to the community and others what this process is going to look like. We can't just say, well, we're going to open up a credit union. I mean,
Right.
even the NCUA tells us, that we have to always tag our conversation with proposed. But it is, I would submit to us that it's hard for people to understand because they are not accustomed to being around the language of finance. It's foreign to them. I mean, the best they might be able to muster is they know what a banking account is, a bank account. And sometimes I will ask, is the check and a savings? And they got to think about it. They're not sure. So and the system has changed. I had to laugh. I had to laugh at my son the other day because he came to me and said, Dad, I might have to open up a checking account. And I'm sorry. He's got to order some checks, all right? Because he's got the account, but he's never really had any need for checks. I can't remember what that need is now, but he came to me and told me, asked me where I ordered my checks from. So, but we got a lot of work to do in terms of introducing our community as well as the greater community to something that's akin to financial literacy.
Right.
I mean, there ought to be certain buzzwords. I know there's certain buzzwords that I hear that will attract me to read a particular article. And I only know what I know.
Exactly.
And it's helped. And I'm even becoming a little bit more literate in these financial terminologies. So and I will say that one of the things that I learned was through Masjid Muhammad and how they built the Clara. And I'm looking at the Clara is a 8-story
multi-use.
Yeah, it's a multi-use building with apartments on top and commercial on the lower level. There's a restaurant that's open there now. It's owned by Muslims and has been in business. I know a good 10 years, if not longer. Obviously not at this location, because the Clara just opened. But Masjid Muhammad took 3 or 4 parcels of land, combined it into one, and found a developer, a Muslim developer, out of he and his brother, out of their family is out of Memphis, Tennessee. They were in the first. The brother's name's Omar Kareem is the developer here in DC, and his brother, what is his brother's name? Escapes me right now. He just announced yesterday that he's going to be running for mayor of the District of Columbia. But what Masjid Muhammad did was they bundled these properties together as one parcel, and then through a nonprofit, they brought in a developer who, for the next 15 years, is going to reap the benefits of I think the project was like 42 million. Does that sound right, Rabani?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but it was about 42 million. Well, the developer was able to get tax credits through the Masjid's nonprofit because they partnered together to do this. So for the next, I guess, 14 years, the developer will be reaping the benefits from this project. But come, I don't know, maybe 2039, 2040, that money will then inure to the benefit of Masjid Muhammad. And other than coming out of pocket to pull these 3 parcels together into one, Masjid Muhammad didn't have to put up any money. So they were able to get the Clara built through another process.
From the equity on the land,
Yes.
that would be appraised at a certain price, and that would be the equity that would go towards the package.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we're trying to do something like that in Charlotte.
Okay.
You know, we have 7 acres there, about 7.5 acres, but still trying to, get the MOU taken care of now.
No, I understand. Well, look, I know
Memorandum.
it's going to be a process because
Yeah.
I'm using these examples that we're talking about,
Right.
trying to, figure out how I will be able to develop a commercial property that sits on a roughly 2,400 square foot footprint that I'm allowed to build up 75 feet, which is essentially 5 stories as a matter of right. And, at my age, I'm not personally interested in putting myself and my family in debt. But certainly if I can find a development entity that could allow for me to do some sort of land lease or some sort of exchange where I get this built and they take the profits from it for the next 10, 15 years, but then it would inure to the benefit of our trust, i.e. my son. I mean, that's worth me taking a look at. So, I mean, I actually think that, Allah really blessed them to get the Clara built like that, so that the community wouldn't have to come out of pocket. So there's a lot to be learned by hanging with us. So,
Exactly.
I know I've benefited from it. And
So your property has been zoned for 75 feet height limitation, 75 feet?
Yeah. In fact,
okay.
I worked on it. I worked on it for
I know you
maybe
were telling me.
2.5 years.
Yeah, easy.
Because what I did was, it took me that long in order to bring in the 13 other property owners in 2 blocks so that we could make application to do all of our properties with this 75-foot height. And it took us, when it came down to it, we found an attorney in January, maybe December of 23, January 24. He gave us his price. We raised $35,000 in 10 days amongst the property owners. And no, all of them didn't contribute. But this was going to be a case where a rising tide was going to lift all boats. So whether you contributed or not, you benefited from the upzoning. And, the application was put in, long story short, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2025, our request was granted. So every property in the 46 and 4700 blocks of 14th Street is now zoned MU5A. And the A indicates that it's an inclusionary zone, which then gives us some other benefits, including 10 feet of additional height that has to be set back 10 feet from the property line, where we can either put a penthouse apartment or an HVAC system. One of the two. But that top floor.
Imam Talib, did they condition this inclusionary zoning to include also the inclusion of affordable housing units?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. And that was one of the selling points that we used to the Office of Zoning. Because right now, for the past, I would tell you probably for at least the past decade, affordable housing has been, sort of a buzzword.
Yeah, many jurisdictions are doing these density bonuses.
Yes.
If there are community-wide benefits, it could be green space that you're offering. It could be improvement to transportation that is immediate adjacent area. It could be like what you all are talking about. It could be the inclusion of affordable housing within the development.
Ours is affordable housing. The one that you're speaking of relative to transportation and community centers and pocket parks, things of that nature, that comes through another program. It's called a PUD, a Planned Urban Development.
Planned Unit Development.
Planned Unit Development, right, okay. Yeah, Planned Unit Development. And that some of the developers have been using in order to get these multi-level apartment units built. The community doesn't fully understand it. Washington, D.C. is a place that there's always been resistance to
opposition.
Yeah, to the businessman and woman. Like we're some kind of pariah. Even with the project that we were trying to develop, we even made a proposal. We made a couple of proposals to the community. By example, there were 3 of us who own 9 of the properties in the 2 blocks that we're speaking of that have agreed that anything that we build, we're not going to eliminate the commercial component.
Right, because look like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus a penthouse. You got six levels, and then you can have a 20-foot commercial from the sidewalk to 20 feet up, and then a basement also the length of the project.
Right, which is what I plan to do. Because right now my basement falls. Right now my basement falls roughly maybe 1,200 square feet short of being a full basement.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you could also include a 5 or 6 foot sidewalk elevator to the basement commercial elevator.
Right.
For goods.
Now, I tell you, one of the things I'm trying to do is there is something. There's something in the real estate lexicon known as adverse possession. I've got a 1,800 square foot public side yard that I
Yeah.
am allowed to egress in order to access my basement. But for the last 24, let's see, 2002, for the last 23 years, going on 24 years, I've been caring for this public space, shoveling it, maintaining it. I mean, it's essentially been mine.
But
Exactly.
your
Mhm.
property though, Atala,
Huh?
is it part of your property? But
Yes.
it's just a public. It's still a public. I mean, yeah,
Right away.
still it's a right of way. It's a public right of way. Just like
Yes.
25 feet in front of your yard is public right of way. It's still
That's right.
road, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that easement that you're talking about is still public right away. Although you maintaining it, you're taking care of it, you may be paying taxes on it. It's
No, I
still a
ain't paying
public.
no taxes on it. Now that would really
It's
mean
still part
that
of
I
the
could
public
take
right away.
adverse possession.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying, and people can get confused about, what is public right away and et cetera,
Right.
and who has access to it and
Right.
these kind of
Well,
things. Yeah.
what the other option that I have, and I would probably try this first, is to see if the city would sell it to me. And I just buy it. It'll probably come with some conditions, which may require, and I'd have to see if those conditions would be acceptable to me, particularly if they would only they'd be willing to sell it to me, but only if I was to have a certain footage of setback from the sidewalk. I'd have to see what that would look like. But it would certainly allow me to be able to expand my footprint, which is what I'm looking at.
But you still can. You were saying that is ingress and egress for your basement, correct?
Yes.
And you're looking to turn your basement into maybe a living quarters, maybe like a accessory dwelling unit or something like that.
Well, first thing I'm looking to do, and I might even look to do this before I build up, is one of the first things I want to do is to build the basement all the way to the back of the building. Right?
There you go.
Right now, it only goes back 1,250 square feet. I want it to
Max
go
out.
back at least another 1,000 square feet, so that I could have the opportunity to even add in. When I first got the building, I rented the first floor to one tenant and the basement to another tenant. If I build the basement all the way back, I could have two entrances that would allow me to have a tenant on the first floor and two tenants in the basement.
I understand.
Or it could end up being what it's ended up being for about the last 8 or 9, maybe 8 years now, where I rent the entire building to one tenant. So it's less of a headache for me. That same tenant has been there 15 years, going into 16. But I was informed in the first quarter of 2025 that they were going to that they were going to buy a property where they could have office space, warehouse space, and parking, which was killing them in a residential neighborhood. And the only reason why they decided to go out and buy a building that's, like a total package for them. They were always in a position to buy something, but they liked the space that I was offering because they liked the neighborhood. But the parking just became untenable for them. They maintain the staff. In fact, they are the largest employer in that 2-block area. So when they leave, they're going to affect the businesses that are there. They were supposed to be moving out either this month or January of 26, but they informed me, I guess maybe a month ago, that they won't be leaving out until sometime in May, which I'm thankful for, and I've got someone who say they're ready to come in, and they want to open a child care center in the space. So I'm still in a negotiating phase with them right now. I want to see how much build out they'll have to do and how their build out is going to affect my being able to rent the space in the future, because as a child care center, they may have a bathroom for staff, but the one that they have for the little people, it's going to be unusable for anybody else that's not 5 years of age or younger.
What about the zoning for outdoor space for the kids?
I'm leaving this all on them. They want me to meet with their architect to let him be able to walk the space. They were talking about putting in an application to fence, put a protective fence around the outside area so the children could play outside. I'm going to let them go through all of that process.
Yeah, of course.
What I'm going to control is what materials you use to do this.
Right.
I've already advised them because they have a daycare center 2 doors from my location now. And, they've dressed that window up, with some stock. I don't know what it is. It's like a paper that you can't see in.
See through.
Yeah, but I've told her she's not going to be able to put that on my building because it would cheapen the building. So I'm concerned about curb appeal, and because I have one of the I have the only building on the block that when the city issued a RFP for a company to come up and appraise the value of the properties in those 2 blocks, they convinced the city to allow them to not include my property because it was unlike any of the other properties in the 2 blocks. And they were afraid that if they included my property, that it would skew the numbers. So, I can't win for losing. What? So anyway, that's part of the plan, and I've still got some work to do because right now I'm looking if should I rent it to them, it would only be for 3 years with maybe 2 1-year options. Because I don't know what Allah may have planned coming to us in developing these properties so that we could build either apartments or condos with retail on the lower level. And so, I mean, I got problems, but I got good problems. I mean, these are good problems to have. So but anyway, the point I was making was that the things that I've been observing, not only with Masjid Muhammad, but the things that I've been observing with other masjids around the country, and what we do here on these Sunday calls, it remains inspiring. So I mean, I still see the benefit, for us in this, and I have not forgotten the work that I'm supposed to be doing in terms of reviewing those credit unions that we had a list of that we could possibly just assume outright. So I'm being careful in terms of parsing my words, because we got a stranger on the line that just don't want to identify themselves. So I don't feel free to talk. In fact, I see we've lost 2 people already. So I'd like to suggest that we wind this up and close out.
Yeah, Imam Tariq has a funeral to attend,
Okay.
and Adam did have a meeting we mentioned when he first came on at
Right.
their
Yeah, you
masjid
told us
today.
that. Yep.
They've got that meeting. So yeah, if there's nothing else that's pertinent, I see that our guest on iPhone is off mute. We gave you the greeting earlier. We repeat it now. Assalamu alaikum, brother, and welcome to Graceline Community. We would love to know who you are. Invitation extended, but we still hear nothing from that. So Imam Talib, if you would please close us out.
Yes, sir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا حسنة في الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, give us good in this world, good in the after, and defend us from the torment of the fire. Ameen.
Ameen. Brothers, go and have a wonderful day.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, ma'am, Tyler, let me
Yeah.
know. Let me know if you got any if the brother would help you with at Howard. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right,
I will.
bro. All right.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.